Now with all these challenges you can actually hotkey your units before the battle, so you see here I am hotkeying all my zealots from 1 to 7. You can actually do this without hotkeying easily and just move them around the map, but it's a lot easier if you do hotkey. So just stun them 1 to 7, place ready, and then you just sort of move them across the minimap with different hotkeys, and you see they split them up pretty quickly in different directions. Then with your remaining zealots you just want to try and get about 4 or 5 Banelings each. And there you go. Now I quite enjoyed this one since I'm a Zerg player. Something I'm quite used to. What I did is I put my Zerglings and Banelings on different hotkeys. You can also hotkey individual Zerglings and set them on the Banelings. So you want to move your Banelings, you don't want to attack move them, but when you're in range of enough Banelings, you do attack. You keep your Zerglings safe, and what you can do is you can make shift commands, and then you select attack the Baneling, but then you remove one of the Zerglings from the control group, and then they just sort of go after the Baneling. And that's a good way of selecting Banes to go take, and once you've got all the Banes dead, you just go and with your Zerglings. Now this one you have to utilise EMP decloaking units, so you want to stim your Marines, and then you want to move them. I move them out to the side a bit, so they only have to have one Banshee at a time. Just take them out. EMP that second Banshee. I could have done that a bit faster. I would have probably saved that last Marine. But Ghost's pretty good against Banshees, so it kills it quite quickly. Now this one's very simple. All you need to do is just blink away, one at a time. You can also focus attack on the roaches and you'll save a few more stalkers. You should easily do this one. Though I probably shouldn't have blinked that one forward because it had a lot of HP left. So that roach might get an extra go. Now you can do this one a number of ways. I think it wants you to make you go all in at once with a lot of control commands, but the way I found was easiest is if you send first you want to hotkey everything into different groups. I feed back the 2 point defense drones, and you have to hold position on your stalkers, otherwise they'll go in. You morph that into an Archon, then I send my Phoenix in to take out those Viking, and once they're down you can lift the tanks and send all the other units in without the tank fire. So just move this Phoenix out. Bit of lag. Send everything in, grab time to lift those tanks. And I'm also going to put one of my stalkers under each tank so that when they land, if they siege tank each other, they'll just cause some collateral damage. And also you can grab time lift again. Now this one's really easy, it's just there's a DT somewhere in the map. And obviously you can't see it, but because of the splash damage of siege tanks, you just want to select both your siege tanks and then focus fire on your own SCVs where you see the blur of the DT. Now this one you need to be a bit patient. I think this is the one that gives most people a lot of trouble. The way I do it is you just move away, press H. Until you get the rhythm down, it's a bit difficult. Similarly, like I said with these stalkers, it helps me if I wait for the sound of the missiles going out and then before I move again. You can use attack move or S to stop the Banshee and then get it to fire, but I think H is the best because if you're a bit ahead of the Marines and you press S, the Banshee might go in to attack them and then it'll be head on and just die instantly, so H will prevent it from moving backwards any. But you really want to keep your acceleration up. Another way you can do it is if when you see the Banshee's tail flip around, that's about when you want to start moving again. You can always just look at the timer of how fast the weapon is as well. Another thing I noticed is that it seems a lot easier to gauge the distance when you're on the horizontal areas instead of the vertical ones. So if you're a bit low on HP and you've got a few Marines to go, you can always just wait until the easier part. And again, it just takes a bit of practice and a little bit of patience. And of course, because it takes about 20 shots to kill all these Marines, now there's only got 1 shot left to kill that one. So you can just go attack move it in, or you can keep being careful, but I didn't. So for this one, I wanted to stim my Marines first, and then you just hold down R and click on the Banelings, and you've got to be really careful. You can't really afford to get any Baneling hits, so you just keep clicking R, hold down R, and mouse click. Hold down R, mouse click. This one's quite fun actually. I think I was a bit sloppy there, so I lost a few Marines, but these ghosts will easily finish these circles off. Now I tried a few different ways of doing this. You can use shift commands, but I thought it was easier if you just choose the outer Marines and you select them both and you just keep moving in a big loop. And you see, even though that they're not next to each other, they're still keeping the relatively same position. And similar with the first challenge, you just want to make sure that your circle is really wide. If you do any sharp turns, then you'll probably lose your Marine or get a few Zealot hits off. And at one point they do clump up a bit, and I'll probably lose one of my Marines. So if we get inside that one. And you always have to have one more Marine than you do have Zealots. And see, I did a sharp turn, I lost that one Marine, but it doesn't really matter. Now for the final challenge, it can be quite tricky. What you've got to do is you've got to load in the tank just as the shots are going off, but then you've got to unload it almost instantly, so that the Stalkers don't attack the dropship too much. Now what I found really helps is if you hold position first on the dropship, and all we really need to do is control the dropship, click on the tank and then pick it up. And once you get 2 or 1 Stalker left, you can actually dodge the lasers quite well. So I was a bit lazy here, but I still killed it quite easily. And again, this one just takes a bit of patience, a bit of practice. You want to try and synchronize the lasers up so that you can dodge all 3 of them at once. Well anyway guys, hope that was helpful. If you like this, it'd be great if you could subscribe and maybe check out some other videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.